What is up, YouTube? I know it's been a while since we've done an RTA episode. It's episode number 3 now, and obviously a lot has changed. Last episode we were in like Emperor, now we're rank 11 Legend, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, I've learned a lot since the last episode, so I hope a lot of the commentary that we do throughout this episode you guys will learn a lot from. Make sure you guys join the Discord so you can ask me any questions as needed, or if you need help with your draft, or just comment below if you need some help as well. I can always, chime in there in the comments. I reply to everybody. But yeah, let's not waste any time because this video will be kind of long with a lot of matches. So I'm going to do my best with breaking down all of the picks, the bans, pre-bans, decision making, so that you guys can kind of get a better understanding of how you should be approaching some of your own matches when we're playing RTA. Obviously, whether you're hitting champion or emperor for the first time, or even challenger or master. Hopefully some of these things or habits that you hear from the video you will be able to apply it to your own game as well. All right, anyways, let's go into the first fight of today. All right, right out the gate, we are seeing a Lua Zio pre-ban, so that doesn't really give us a whole lot of information, but the one thing that you do want to, I guess, piggy off of a Zio pre-ban is that they are probably pretty weak to cleave or aggro players, which means C Lilius is going to be really hard to punish here if there's a Zio pre-ban, so they can't slam things like Zio Ran on you if they're a cleaver. And he goes with Candy first pick, so I'm going to be going with Laya here since Candy doesn't give us a whole lot of info. Doesn't really tell us if he's doing cleave or aggro or standard or tank down, so we're going to take Laya here since she's one of the best units in the game at the moment. And I can probably take mitigation since mitigation is probably the best, safest option here since I can always flex into whatever he's going to do, right? So let's see what he opts for here. Candy is very popular to be kind of like an anchor pick, and what we define as a anchor pick is kind of a unit that can kind of round out your draft and give you the stability that your draft may be weak to, right? So for example, as a cleaver, if they go Candy or they go ae-KARINA, these are units that cleavers are really weak to, right? So he goes C Lilius plus LHC in response, which is a bit surprising, I would say. Very surprising because that doesn't give a whole lot of information. So I'm going to go Lulucar here. I know a lot of people are going to think, wow, why would you go Lulucar into Lermia? Like, you're going to insta-proc her, right? Well, the defense buff in the ice cream basically nullifies her S3. So it basically, means we're basically taking no damage, right? Now, what's another unit that I think is going to be really beneficial here for my draft, right? Do I need to go utility or do I need to go damage, right? Now, his draft, he has basically no tank, right? So if I have an anchored unit like Yufine here, it's going to do a ton of damage. Even though there's anti-crit, we have elemental advantage, so hopefully we do land here, which this draft so far in my top 4 allows me to fight versus bottom 2, right? So he goes Hwa-Young here to try to kill off one of my units right off the gate, and he takes Elvira. So Elvira is kind of annoying. Elvira is quite annoying to fight. Now the question comes down to, what do we want to do now? Maybe I could do something like a Rimuru. I think Rimuru would be a really big force ban because I can take 3-turn immortality from the Elvira, which could be really bad for them, right? And now I can play Laya Wincon. So even if, we let the Elvira through, we can play the Laya Wincon since it's pretty hard to de-break us. I can ban the Hwa or I can ban the C Lilius. C Lilius gives vigor for all the units. I think it's going to be C Lilius ban here. Because we want to ban the C Lilius because Vigor is plus 30% attack and defense to all units, right? This can benefit, this can benefit, and this can benefit. Everyone can benefit, right? So if we're disabling the attack buffer, it'll give us the best chances of surviving so that we can play that Laya Wincon. This match is no longer about Yufine popping off. It's really about keeping our Laya alive, right? So we want to give release imprint to all of our units and keep our Ocean Breeze Luluca survive as long as possible. And let's go into the match. Alright, so we can see that it's Draco plate on the Lionheart Sermia here, so it doesn't really give us a whole lot of information, to be honest. I can either S2 or I can S1. Since I have 2 cleanses, I can just S1 into the Hwa-Young here, try to provoke with a Carmen maybe, or even put an attack down. Attack down would be huge. Beautiful. Alright, so there's the attack down from our Yufine, which is going to really gutter the Hwa-Young damage, which will keep our Lulucar really safe here. Now this procs the Lionheart Sermia, but like I said earlier, right, we want to proc her because Lulucar is going to be able to maybe land some strips. We can get defense buff, we can get ice cream. It'll put us in a really good position here. Alright, do we silence? So we landed a silence and a blind. We didn't strip the defense buff, but that's already good enough, right? So now, even with 3 single target hits here from a Candy, Hua-Young, and a Lionheart Sermia, even if we're death broken, I don't expect us to die. Because Hua-Young without attack buff really doesn't do that much damage. Really doesn't do that much damage. Yeah, so you can see here, she only did like 4k. We even heal up here with a heal, a counter. And Lionheart can't do anything here, right? She actually hits through the miss, but we're still going to be able to tank this with Yuffie, so it's fine. But again, we're mainly just playing for the Lia win con, so if we're able to survive, that is great. So we're going to try to lifesteal here a bit. Hopefully we don't get countered by Candy, but it is very possible. We do get countered, so we're probably dead here. Okay. So in this position, we have to make a decision, right? Do we want S2 or do we want S1? And I feel inclined to actually S2 here, because if I S1, I might proc that Candy into Elbrus, and that could be kind of bad for us, right? Now I'm going to press S3 here to put Invince up for our Lia to keep her alive for 1 rotation. And now we do have souls for our Lia S3, so we just need to now decide who are we going to try to kill first, right? I don't think Lermia is that big of an issue. I don't really think Hua-Young can do much for 2 turns here. So I'm just going to S1 with Lulucar here. And then we're going to Soulburn S3 with our Lia into the Candy as well after. Does Elvira actually land on anything here? Maybe Carmen? It doesn't land. It lands on Lia, but it doesn't really do much here. So we're 1 turn off here. So this is a very scary moment, right? If we proc Elbrus here, we get S3 into the vase. But we're going to try to provoke with our Carmen here. So we actually got the provoke on the Lermia, but she actually counter salvos. Now we're gonna have to eat an S3 to the face. This is gonna be it's gonna be very scary, but hopefully we can tank it. We do have Carmen mitigation, so I don't expect us to not die, or I don't expect us to die, so should be fine. Candy S3s, we're still alive. We do get stunned, but I believe we should have Sweet Miracle right now, if I'm not mistaken. And I do have S3 available on Lulucar right after, so even if we are currently stunned, it's not that big of a problem. Now I'm going to proc S3 here, and then our Lia is going to guarantee to get a turn here. And I'm just going to go for the 1 shot here, probably. Candy actually isn't that big of a problem anymore. It's more so Lionheart. But we do have defense buff. Okay, we're going to kill Lionheart first. This might turn out to be a misplay. But if I duel after I kill with Lia, she's going to get defense buff, which is kind of scary. I'm going to just go for a regular hit on the Elvira here. This procs our Lulucar, which is great. Strip that attack buff off of that Landy here, hopefully. And now he doesn't have any souls. Okay, he doesn't have any souls right now for Elvira to soul burn, which means she's going to lose her immortality very soon. Our Guardian procs, which is huge. I want to S1 on the Candy to try to provoke. Beautiful. So now Hua-Young is 1 turn off for S3, but we're also on a timer too, so we are probably fine. Because Soulburn S1 onto Hua-Young should be able to kill here. Now, the Hua-Young doesn't have immunity anymore, so I'm actually going to start dumping hits into her after I cycle. So we're just going to S2, push our Lulucar forward, get some more tempo, and S1 here. No Elbruses, very good. Carmen has to go for an S1 onto the Hua. Actually gets a dual attack. Interesting. It's fine. We're gonna cut here, so I'm just gonna try to get a provoke off here. We didn't land it. Okay. So we have Soulburn S3 now, so I'm probably gonna go for Candy here. Yeah, I'm gonna go for Candy. We go for Candy, and then we're going to S1 dual attack, hopefully pull Lulucar, but if not, we can pull Carmen, which can potentially provoke the Hua-Young. So overall, I think we're in a pretty favorable spot, right? So remember, anytime you're going to be trying to play Lia, like, you always want to, before the game even starts, you always want to look at the draft and see, you know, can Lia be our primary damage dealer, right? If she can be our primary damage dealer, it doesn't really matter that much whether or not you have a lot of damage on your team or not, right? So just like Lia plus a 1 DPS is usually good enough in some cases. So let's move over to our next match of today then. Alright, so our next match is going to be Zio Rimuru pre-ban. What does that tell us, right? Rimuru usually is a really strong unit into things like Political Cleave, very strong into Gala players, one of the primary counters to Gala, right? So he goes Yuffie first pick, pretty neutral. It doesn't give us a whole lot of information, but we know he's definitely not going to cleave us, because cleavers are not going to ban Zio, right? So we're going to take ae-KARINA here. And now I'm expecting him to maybe do something like a Sealilius Arrowell, or like a Sealilius Gala, or you know, Sealilius Gala, Sealilius Arrowell, something like that. Because he has to go higher tempo here, otherwise it's going to be really hard for him to win. Because Laia versus Yuffie, Laia usually always wins that. He's hovering Abigail, but I think he's just trolling. Not a lot of info to play off of here right now, but if he goes really slow, so if he tries to play tank down with me, I'm probably going to take Sealilius and go higher tempo here. Maybe do something like a Sealilius Gala myself, actually. Or Sealilius Hwayoung, Sealilius Spez. So there's 1 out of 2. There's the Gala that we were expecting. I'm expecting a Sealilius P3 here. If not Sealilius, it's got to be mitigation like Arrowell or something like that. Let's see what he picks. There's a Sealilius. Alright, just as we expected, right? So when you look at a draft like this, you got to ask yourself, okay, how can I counter this draft, right? How can I counter this? The only way you can really counter this is having some non-attack disrupts, right? So things like Polly, maybe Lulucar. Zio is obviously banned, so you can't take the tempo back. If you take something like a Rand, Lua, Leica, Opener, you're just racing and you might just lose the 50-50, right? So obviously we don't want to go that route. So I'm going to be taking Lulucar here because it's going to be really strong into these 2 units. And he has no mitigation right now, so I'm actually going to take Candy. Anytime you look at someone's draft and they don't have mitigation on the board, Candy is going to be a really, really big threat. Not only can you Elbrus to win and salvo, but you're also giving yourself that buff stack ability so that if they do pick any debuffers or control units, they're going to have a bit of a harder time to play the game. But mainly is if they don't have any mitigation, they're probably going to die to Candy. Just like a couple counters, salvo, Elbrus, they're probably going to die. Now, this puts him in a position where he has to take mitigation, right? If he doesn't take mitigation, we're most likely going to win. We're very most likely going to win. Because with Carmen, Laia can never die through Gala, and Carmen should not die to Gala either. If we're going release imprint with the Landy, the Laia, and the Lulucar, she'll be like 32k HP, and she has the built-in adamant in her kit, and she has protection set, so it's very hard to kill her, and we have guardian ice crystals on our Lulucar. So right now, our draft is so solid to a point where we don't need to ban top 3, right? We're picking to ban bot 2. Leica is potentially an issue because we don't have any CR cut. That might be a problem. I don't think we're really worried about Anos. I don't think Arunca is that big of an issue either. I don't think Arunca is that big of an issue. I think if I had to pick between all these units, I'd probably say this is the biggest problem. But now I just need to get a force ban, right? So realistically, it doesn't matter super much about what we pick here, because I just need something that they'll ban, right? And I think taking something like a Faithless Litica might be okay, because that allows us to reset them. Right, he doesn't know how fast I am here, right? So I can always just ban the ae-KARINA. I have to gamble that this doesn't kill, right? Ae-KARINA can straight up delete one of my units, and I can't have that happen. So I'm going to let this through. He does get attacked by Vigor, though, which is kind of scary. We need to make a decision here. It's either Arunca or this, but if Arunca gets attacked buff, that'll be a really big problem. But if we deny the Gala, then we might be fine, too. Alright, let's deny the Gala. Let's try to deny the Gala. So there's the force ban. Obviously, he has to respect it. And like I said earlier, we need to go release imprint for our 2 tanks that need to survive. So we're just going to go like this. HP, HP, HP. And just play from there, basically. Yeah. Okay. I'm expecting this Arunca to not kill, since Vigor is usually not enough. You need attack buff with the Arunca as well. But, oh, he actually gets the attack buff from the Tachi. Ooh, that could be bad. Now, if he has 3s here, he's boned, because he has no cleanse. So if he has 3s, my Lulucar can go. His ae-KARINA is really slow, so I can actually lie S2 into push. So we have a couple opportunities here. So he has immunity on that guy with no... Okay. So I think I'm just going to fish for a dual attack. And since he has no mitigation, my Candy straight up deletes him, right? And wow, the Arunka does not have a max Tachi. That is terrible for him. That is terrible. If he had, you know, if he maybe he has like a plus 24, 27 or something, but I don't know if this kills. I don't think so. That is terrible for him. I think this is over. It hasn't even begun, but I think it's already over. Yeah, I think it's already over. Don't really think there's much you can do now. Because my candy is just going to go universe now. Like, we're already almost charged up. Yeah, he's dead. This guy's dead. And we don't even need to worry about Arunka anymore. We just take the tempo out. Try to kill the Celilius first, because she's going to be the one that's pulling all the dual attacks here. And, yeah, this game is wrapped up. It should be an FF really soon. Also, it's 12k Celilius, so not a very favorable pick, I would say. Yeah, he's dead. He's just going to S2 for fun. That's fine. We're going to S2 here. We're going to push, since that also resets our Lulucar cooldown on S2, and we get the Carmen S3. I'm just going to S1 onto the Arunka for guaranteed damage, and then my 5 focus stack is going to strip off the buffs off of them, hopefully. But even if we get 100 Fighting Spirit to the Yuffie, it really isn't going to matter at this point, right? Like, it doesn't mean anything. So we're just going to S3. Arunka can't do anything. And yeah, this guy's just in for a world of pain. He isn't really going to be able to play the game anymore. I can proc an Elbrus. He's gone, right? GG. Alright. Yeah, he just had a really bad draft. Like, not taking mitigation, just playing really greedy and going really high damage. It's not a reliable playstyle, especially if your A-like is only like 250 speed. Like, that's really greedy. Anyway, let's move to our third attack, or third fight. Alright, so right side's banning Knockwall and DDR. So what does that tell us? It tells us that he is a tank down player. He wants to play Yuffie, he wants to play Carmen, he wants to play Laya. Okay, well, mainly it's Yuffie, right? Now, if Moxon be pre-banned from both sides, I know he wants to take Yuffie, so I'm going to deny the Yuffie here instead of going live P1. And if he goes live P1, then I can tempo up, right? So there's probably Laya Carmen here, most likely, in the meta right now. So there it is. Now, how do we fight this draft, right? You can't try to out tank them, right? It's really hard to out tank a Carmen Laya since they can, like, you know, get double cleanse, you can get invents. It's really hard, right? So we got to go tempo here. So I'm going to take the Celilius here, and because I have a hyper carry in Yuffie already, I can take mitigation. I think a lot of players might take stuff like, you know, AOL or Shu or something, but that means we have no mitigation, which will make us die to units like Candy, right? So if you take mitigation on P4, P5, it'll be too late. So I'm going to take Airwell here. Airwell is going to give us really good protection. He goes to Elvira P3 really early here, which denies our Yuffie from popping off. But even still, he doesn't have a lot of damage. He doesn't have a super lot of damage. Okay, so now there's the Candy pick. So that's a big counter, right? So one of the main counters to Candy is obviously LCB. Now, if there's an Elvira, that makes it very problematic. So in this state, he's really slow, right? Like, he's basically telling me, you know what, Vic, I'm going to give you the first turn. You go ahead and take it. I'm going to try to beat your Yuffie, right? So I can't out-tank that. I can't try to go LCB and slow down and fight him with Celilius, right? Like, it's not possible. So I need to take 2 units. That's going to let me take over the game. So Gala obviously can deal with these 2 units really easily. And I need another unit that can just let me snipe off a unit really fast, right? So what are options, right? There's Arunka, there's Spez, there's maybe Opsig if there's no Candy, there's Hua-Young, right? I think Hua-Young is going to be the most favorable pick here, because we're combining the vigor and the attack buff and also the attack down on them. It gives us a pretty favorable advantage. Now, Solitaria is mainly to focus or counter focus units. We don't have any focus units, but she is a debuffer. She's a control unit, right? So we have no cleanse. We got to ban last pick in respect, right? So he actually bans the Celilius here, which is, you know, not a terrible idea actually, in my opinion. I'm gonna go self imprint on ourself and backline our Gala since we have Bastion of Perlucia, just because we don't want her to die like in the opening from an S1 into Candy Salvo, right? All right, it should be fine. Now, even though they are going to be, Laya's probably gonna take the turn before us. I don't think it matters too much. It's a Sweet Miracle and it's Aureus Carmen that we saw. So let's play from here. If I S3 into Carmen first. Okay, so I think the play is we kill Carmen first. Obviously. He goes for the provoke, didn't land, unfortunate. So I'm going to S3 into Carmen. This probably doesn't kill because a lot of people have built their Carmens with like 30k plus HP, like KHM. So this probably doesn't kill, even though I'm like 5k 300. We tank a salvo, but it's fine. And okay. So we can S3. I'm just gonna S3 on the Laya here. And I'm probably going to S1 with... My Gala takes a turn next. If my Gala takes a turn next, before the Laya gets to take a turn, I can just snipe her with Gala. So I might just dump damage into the Laya here, because who knows, maybe the Aureus damage share might kill the Carmen, right? I don't want to waste an Hwa-Young S3 into Carmen for no reason. And it does. It does kill her. That's huge, right? That's huge. That's really big, because he goes S3 on Yuffie, it doesn't matter. We could even counter here. And our Candy's gonna, or our Gala's gonna cut the Candy here, and we're gonna be able to just snipe him out. Maybe dual attack. Okay, no dual attack. That's fine. We're gonna S1 into the Laya. She's dead since there's no mitigation. And now he is in a world of pain. He's playing 2v4 with damage limiter on my Gala, with Wind Rider stacking, ready to go. He's gonna need a miracle in this fight. Like, if he wins this, it's because Candy is gonna be popping off super, super hard. And I mean, she is starting to, so hopefully she chills out a little bit and buys a turn. I'm actually gonna... I have confidence in my Gala. I'm just gonna S1. I want to strip that barrier, right? Because my Gala could potentially one-shot with the Wind Rider proc. If this strips my attack buff, then what can you do? But our buff did shuffle, so we should keep the attack buff. There it is. Perfect. She missed. So this should kill, since we have Wind Rider. Yeah, headshot. GG. And it's over. He's dead. He's gonna FF. And as simple as that, right? So if you are gonna fight tank down, you need to be ready, and you need to be able to recognize when you need to speed up and when you need to slow down. But that was a really good game. So let's move over to our next match. Alright, so next opponent is gonna be banning Sealilius and Zio. What does that tell us? Doesn't give us a whole lot of info. He's pretty scared of aggro players. I'm actually gonna take the Yuffie here, because if Sealilius is banned, if this is banned, if Knuckles banned, doesn't leave a whole lot of options to actually deal with the what do you call it, the Yuffie. So he goes Laya Carmen that we've seen a million times before. Now we're gonna take mitigation ourselves here, so we're gonna take Airwell, and I could go Gala here as well. I think normally this would be Sealilius here, but considering that Sealilius is not available, we are just gonna go with Gala and see how he plays from here. He actually goes for the Aiden pick. Okay. He takes Aiden Rimuru. I'm actually not that scared of Rimuru, believe it or not. Because Rimuru's a good unit, but the main issue with Rimuru is he can't kill through escort and damage limiter. Plus the Bastion of Perlucia, right? So we're not super worried about that. We need to pick units that can deal with this entire draft right now. What would be the pick here? What would be the picks here? He doesn't have much cleanse. Like, I wonder if Bryceria would be good. This one's hard. I'm gonna go Shu Lulucar here. Reason I go Shu Lulucar is because obviously this is HP scaling, or usually it's kind of tanky. I have double focus, so I need to ban Solitaria. That means he bans my mitigation, so okay, I have to go self imprint then, so I don't give HP to our Gala. And we'll see. We might straight up lose the Gala right away here. We actually take the turn first, which is actually pretty bad, to be honest. But let's start working this. So we're more than definitely going to lose our Gala here on a Rimuru S3. It's also an Uberius too, so yeah, our Gala is definitely dead. So does it death break us? And does this Laya actually pull a useful unit? We don't hit on the Aiden. If she pushes, I cut. It didn't pull a useful unit. That's good. However, he does have attack buff, so we're already in a very big predicament. If Aiden slams, we're probably gonna die. And okay, Ice Cream healed us up a bit. Let's see if he one-shots us. He does one-shot us. Yeah, he one-shots us. It's over. GG. We had the worst draft. I think there's a learning opportunity here that we can quickly review is looking at this draft, right? So where did I lose? I lost here on P3, right? So instead of taking a unit like Gala, which is kind of a big commit in Daisarimaru, I think taking Gala here would be a bit safer because we already had our DPS, we had our mitigation. We should take something. Normally this would be Celia's, but he banned it, right? So why don't we take Gala, right? Non-attacker, non-attacker, right? This is kind of a disruptor, gives us survivability for our Euphine. That would have put us in a more advantageous position, and that way we wouldn't have just died to Rimuru. So yeah, we just mispicked on P3. If we took Ocean Breeze Ludica here, we would have been in a much better spot. But that's fine. We can't win every match. Let's move to the next one. Alright, now into our next match. He actually bans Laya Euphine. Wow. Okay, so that means he really doesn't want to play against this current meta. So I'm actually going to feel inclined to go see Lilius open here, because one of the anti-cleave units being Euphine is banned, but units like Candy are open, units like Bellion are still open. So if he goes cleave, I don't feel super weak into him. So he probably goes Zio Ran here. Zio Aiden, very surprising. Okay, so that makes him pretty weak to Candy, since I have anti-crit now. And I think taking mitigation is not a bad idea either. So units like FCC, Carmen, probably all going to be pretty decent. I'm probably going to go with Carmen though. FCC is not good because I have to S3, right? If I S3 into Aiden and gives him attack buff and he strips my buffs, like that's kind of bad. So I don't really want to take a mitigation that actually, you know, benefits his draft. So he actually goes LRK. So he's pivoting, right? He's pivoting because he sees that, oh, okay, so he has Candy Carmen. It's really hard to cleave through with Zio Aiden. So he's going to pivot. He goes LRK LCB now. LRK LCB means... LRK LCB... LRK LCB. So I think Elvira is probably a force ban for him. Because if he doesn't ban Elvira, that means he can't really play LCB, right? It doesn't do much. And then I need another pick that's going to benefit our draft. We need damage. Like, we don't have enough damage in our draft right now. Who's gonna be our damage? This is a pick one. This is a tough one. Let's go Rylet. I'm slamming Rylet here because I have a dual attacker. He has no way of stripping Rylet, and I have mitigation, right? If I know this is a force ban, I can ban last. We're gonna trade bans, and then I'm gonna play the Rylet. I ban the Yulha because that's a guaranteed way of killing my Candy and my Rylet. And he doesn't ban the Elvira. Wow. I'm shocked. Okay, well this is gonna turn into a Rylet 1v9. Hopefully. Hopefully. Alright, let's see it. So his name is Sorry in Chinese, no? So Zio's gonna S3 most likely into our Celilius first. It does, and he didn't actually push it back. That is really bad for him, actually. So I'm actually just gonna S1 into the LRK since he doesn't have his passive right now, and I have 2 units that can potentially provoke him. We actually didn't get the provoke, which really sucks, to be honest. But since LCB is already disabled, I don't need to worry about her. Mainly is getting the tank out of the way, right? This S3 from LRK is going to be very problematic. But I'm going to go for an S3 here. Hopefully we stick a death break. We actually get resisted. We get resisted. That's really unfortunate. We have like 50 effectiveness too, so... He's relatively lower HP, so that tells us he probably has some ER on his build. But he doesn't have immunity, so I'm kind of surprised. Maybe that's just a 15% loss. So he's probably going to S3 into Rylet with Sword of Cycling, and if he hits, then I lose. But if he doesn't hit, then I have a way to win here, then... Oh, okay, yeah, we're just going to lose RNG. Okay, yeah, we just lose. GG. Not much to learn from there. I mean, if he hits the Rylet, he hits the Rylet, you know? It is what it is. Move on to the next game, then. So right side actually bans Yuffie and DDR here, so units like Laya is going to be very strong. Units like Candy is going to be very strong here. I'm going to get ready to first pick my Laya here. So he takes the Laya, that's fine. I'm going to respond with Celilius and also take the Candy here, because I don't want to give him both, right? I don't want to give him both. So I go see Lilia's Candy here, because obviously he has no mitigation. This forces him to take mid. There's a mitigation. And this gives me first turn, right? It gives me tempo. Goes Lulucard for disruption. I take Arrowball here, and then I take Gala here. And the reason for this is because my Arrowball is Bastion of Perlucia, which provides obviously immunity and barrier to the Gala in the back line. And I also have anti-crit. So if I do S3 here and Lulucard presses S3, it doesn't strip any of our buffs from our Gala. So we can still actually S3 into them with Vigor and just kind of basically delete a unit straight off the bat. Now we've put ourselves in a position again, right? We're able to ban top 3, I guess. And we're playing to ban one of these and then force ban, right? So what is it going to be? What is it going to be? Let's see here. Let's see. I'm not sure what he's gonna take. I'm really not sure. But I think we're already in a really good spot in terms of our draft. He's confused. He doesn't know what to do. And he goes Abigail. So Abigail tells us he's gonna let these top 4 through and ban last, right? Because Abigail protects one of the units in the back so it doesn't die right off the bat. So in that case, I'm just gonna go Elvira. Yeah, I'm just gonna go Elvira. I'm gonna ban the Abigail. If he doesn't ban the Elvira, he doesn't get a unit on Lionheart. And now we're in a very advantageous position. Go self-imprint for Candy because we need all the firepower that we can get. And let's hop into the match. So, okay, so in this position, I can just S3, S2 Laya. I saw Sweet Miracle Laya and then Aureus on the Carmen. All I gotta do is push this Laya back and then headshot the Carmen. And then we're probably gonna be able to steal the... Oh, okay, we got 15'd. Okay, well that's not good. We do still keep the immunity on our Gala, so it's not the end of the world. One unfortunate thing is that the Sweet Miracle proc doesn't actually proc here, so we gotta make note of that. So it's 16.5k Lulucar and it's 29k Laya. So even if he S1s into my Gala, it doesn't matter. Like, it won't do anything. He goes for the Arrowball first. I actually counter, which allows the Lionheart to take a turn, which is kind of scary if you ask me. And now Lermia is gonna rip. We have Vigor. That's a lot of damage though. Salvo potentially. Any damage that we do into the Carmen is good damage, right? So let's see who he goes for here. He's probably gonna rip an S1 into Arrowball if I had to guess. Yeah, go for the mid first. Okay, so now we're just gonna snipe off the Carmen. Like, we're for sure gonna kill. Unless he's running like a 18k, 19k Carmen, like a degen, then I mean, what can I really do, you know? Yep, he's done. He's gone. Now we get our attack buff on our Candy. We do have blind on, but it should be fine for the most part. I'm actually just gonna S1 into the Lermia here. We actually get a dual attack. That's actually not that bad for us. That's actually not terrible. I'm gonna S3 here to try to strip. Because a Lionheart with a defense buff, the damage is way less. And my Gala can potentially headshot her. With Wind Rider Vigor. Yeah, he FFs because he knows he's gonna die. GG! Nice, clean battle. Let's move to the next one. Alrighty, so that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy and learned a thing or two. Unfortunately, we ended a bit lower than what we started, but it's okay. When it playoffs, you know, when we're not recording, or maybe when I'm recording the next episode, I'll just climb back up. It's just a roller coaster of, you know, climbing and losing, climbing and losing. And I think that's one of the key takeaways too, is that, you know, even though you lose games, just make sure you keep playing, keep queuing, because you're always going to go on win streaks, you're going to go on lose streaks. It's going to happen to everybody, so don't worry about it whatsoever. But hopefully some of my wins and my losses kind of allows you guys to kind of figure out how you should be, you know, drafting and playing against some of these meta comps that we're seeing a lot of right now, especially the Laya Carmen. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'm sorry this episode took so long to come out. Episode 4, I promise you, will come sooner than this one. I promise. That's a promise. But shout out to Xarian for, I guess, you know, pointing that out on Twitch. But yeah, thanks for watching nonetheless. I'll see you guys on episode number 4, or see you guys on Twitch or my next Guild War video. Like, comment, subscribe, you know what to do. And I guess if we're really gonna close this out in a bang, you know, we might as well do it the right way. Alright? Oh shit. I dropped my headset. motherfucking beast mode. All right, see you guys.